Hello, my fine lily friends. Now we've come to the 8th video, which will be on illuminated letters. And let me end this last part for at least starting on Monday. I may add a final video that will have some more ideas for masking fluid. And I highly recommend that you get on my Pinterest site, because I have many watercolor examples that will inspire you. But I'm hoping that these lessons will keep you busy through these next few days. And remember that I am in the Zoom room waiting all of our time together for any questions you may have that are not clear for you with the videos. Okay, and if there's 3 or 4 people, we'll just take them one at a time. Those might be waiting for questions. Okay, so illuminated letters. I just wanted to tell you a couple of really cool things about illuminated letters. First of all, illuminated letters came from the Middle Ages, and the Latin illuminare means to shine with light. So, monks and monasteries started illuminated letters using literally gold leafing around the lettering. And the light, of course, was shining on what as they made many manuscripts written by hand. That's what manuscript means, of the Bible. That was, the Middle Ages were 400 to about 1300. And at about 1100, wealthy people really liked having these Bibles with the gold leafing and other books. So they became very popular among the wealthy class. So that is really how illuminated letters got started. And then there is another form of illuminated letter. I think it's called Historiania, but I wrote it down on the email I sent you, where they would literally take the first letter of a manuscript that had a powerful story and have the letter kind of illustrate the story. I thought that was cool too. So here is some really good news. We got a light box for this lesson. And the gold paint that I thought wasn't good because I added water to it, we used it today without adding water, and it goes on as good as any other metallic paints I've used. When we did this illustration that I'm going to show you of illuminated letter, the first coat went on great, but we went on and added 2 more coats after it dried, and it just made it spectacularly look like gold. But it would be fine with one. Just don't add water when you use the gold paint. Just open it up and use it. So for this final lesson, you'll need the gold paint, pencil, light box. You will decide about your illuminated letter example, and you can use your Dover books and my Pinterest website and some examples I sent you, or search the internet yourself. You'll need your watercolors, your paper. You're going to need 1 sheet to be able to trace your idea that's just Xerox paper, and then trace that in Sharpie. And I'm going to demonstrate this, and put it on the light box, and then put your watercolor paper over that, and you'll be able to trace your illuminated letter. So you'll need a Sharpie also. Okay, I'm going to turn now, and I'm going to show you some terrific illuminated letter examples. Once again, what you're looking at is my Pinterest page on illuminated letters. So I'm going to show you a few. The bear again. Let's see. Just a letter by itself. This doesn't have gold. I really wanted to show you, I thought this was a fantastic example. The way the S is like a winged dragon. And then, this was very whimsical, just simple, almost cartoonish, but powerful. And you can see where they've used the gold illuminated lettering. And I'm going to show you basically what we will be shooting for, not exactly like this, is just to have the letter be in gold. I wanted to show you that. So I've sent you some examples, and also you'll be able to find them either on my Pinterest site from the book you have or the website. Okay, I'm going to now put this in the camera because I'm going to demonstrate the beginning steps of the illuminated letter. Okay, get that out of the way. Okay, and put this in the holder. And move it around so you can see. I'm hoping you'll be able to see really easily. Let's see. See, I'm not able to see what you're seeing because the camera holder is blocking it, but it looks like it's all on there. Okay. There we go. Good. Okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do is decide what letter you want to use, and I'm going to show you how this can be so simply translated. So you may be looking for a child's name, your child, a friend, a particular thing you believe in that you're excited about. Let me see here. There you go. And I want to show you that my husband and I were talking, and he said, "Oh, I want to do an illuminated letter about our dog George." So he took the letter G, and this is either God or the gospel, or I'm not exactly sure what this is for in Middle Ages, but this is how he reduced it. I want you to see this. Here is this simplified version of this. So let me just show you what he did here. We worked on this together. You put your Xerox paper that's very thin on top of the letter that you want. Now remember, this was very simplified. Whatever you want to do, you'll have the time to do what you want to do. Okay, so you're tracing it first in pencil. Now I'm going pretty fast. You're going to go slower and more carefully. But this is the beginning stage of getting your illuminated letter together. And even this was simplified. It wasn't exactly at all like what's there. But the basic shape is lovely, and that is being traced. Okay? Now once that's copied, then you want to take your Sharpie and darken it. Okay? So you've got your darkened copy with your Sharpie. And you want to save this because let's just go back to this for a second. After you might even just try sketching in right now if you want to, like if you wanted to do a flower. You might be just on this, do a quick thumbnail sketch. It doesn't have to be quick, it can be careful. Be thinking about what you want to do with your illuminated letter, okay? But this is the second step. You've traced it, in pencil, with a thin Xerox paper. You've outlined it in Sharpie. And now, oh man, is this like so exciting. We have this light box. And you put, oops, it just unplugged. Okay, let's see here. There we go, good. So you put your letter on the light box. And you take your watercolor paper. You see, this is the thick, wonderful watercolor paper. Look how you can see that through the light box. You can probably even see pencil lines. Let me see if I did a dark pencil line. Yeah, so you see, the light box is fabulous. Can you believe we have this? It's wonderful. So now what you want to do then is trace your letter in pencil all the way around. Carefully. I'm not doing it really carefully now. I'm not even going to do that right now. I'm going to talk to you about the next. After you get your light box letter, and there may be other things you want to use for the light box. You might use a flower that you're going to use in that. You might use a dragon. So then you will first pencil in your whole entire design. Here's the first thing you've got to do. I'm really going to tell you, you need to do this. You want to start, let's say if you had an A, you want to start with your gold first. Even if you have overlapping flowers, let me do that. Let me add a little overlapping leaf here. Or you have a hand coming around, and you haven't drawn through this black part. Okay, I'm just now wanting to show you the next step you do. And if you had a rose here, Now remember, if you have a rose here, you're not going to have drawn that black line through that. Okay, but here is what I'm trying to say. After you have it drawn, and it's in pencil, it's not in Sharpie. I should probably really maybe show you this. Let me do that again. I'm going to do this really fast, this letter. This will help. I want you to imagine right now I've done everything I want to this letter. I'm going to make it a fire-breathing dragon. I'm going to add a castle in here. Okay, let's say I've got all of my ideas sketched out here. The very first bit of paint you do is your gold paint. And you put it on with no water. And it really does go on just so much better than I expected. With no water, okay? So use the gold paint right out of the jar. And now I'm going to make a recommendation. Let it dry for about 5 minutes and put a second coat on at least, okay? Then, if I had something overlapping here, let's say I had the dragon has a snake wrapped around here. I don't know what I'm saying here, but you know, you're obviously, if you have something wrapped around your letter or overlapping your letter, I won't be putting the gold paint in there. I'll be stopping right up next to that part that's overlapping, lifting my brush up, and making sure not to paint the entire letter if I have parts of something overlapping. Okay. So once you do all that, then once your gold is on with at least 2 coats and dry, you're going to want to add your design in watercolor. So there is, I love this. Joe helped me with this for time's sake. Here's our dog George dressed as, you know, a knight, St. George slaying the dragon. So he's become St. George. We have a rat terrier named George. And I really love this. Then, after all of your watercolor is dried, you may choose to outline everything in Sharpie. You can see that the illuminated letter has been outlined in black, and that's the medium Sharpie. And then George himself has been outlined with a finer point Sharpie, the one that's a little bit thinner. That's why those lines are so thin. I'll show you that. Also, look at that gold. That's 2 coats right there of that gold. The thinner Sharpie is the ultra fine point Sharpie, here we go. Here it is. Here's the ultra fine point Sharpie. It's just smaller, and that really works beautifully with those thinner lines. Okay, folks, I'm going to say you're off and running. This has been